Thank you so much to our sanctuary singers, our director of music, Mr. David Mann, and Ms. Jung Oh on piano. Thank you. That was beautiful. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Arlington. In true UU fashion, I'm going to paraphrase a psalmist. This is the day that the universe has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am not Dan Patterson. My name is Gail Crawford, and I am grateful to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees. Dan and his lovely wife, Kristen, was kind enough to take my son on a camping trip this weekend, and he didn't charge me, so I'm doing this. Thank you, Dan and Kristen. Whether this is your first time joining us, or if this is where you go regularly on Sunday as your place of worship, we are so honored that you chose to spend this day with us. UUCA is a community of radical acceptance. We are people of all backgrounds, races, genders, sexual orientations, disabilities and abilities, seen and unseen. Whoever you may be, and wherever you are in your spiritual journey, we welcome you to bring your whole self to be with us in this beloved community. It is indeed, in my experience, a place of refuge. One announcement that I'd like to make. Today, after service, our crisis action team is hosting Bite by Bite, which is a plant-based cooking class that will happen right after service today. If you will meet in Reeb Hall to my left to start, and then you'll go to the kitchen for a cooking class. I understand today's theme is beans. Here at UUCA, we encourage you to come for community, find inspiration, and live with purpose together. Welcome.
Good morning, church. Good morning, church. That is one of my favorite things to do, is make you all say it twice. I am so glad to be with you this morning. I'm the Reverend Carol Thomas Sissel. I'm lucky enough to serve this congregation as the Minister for Social Justice and Community Development. That's a lot of words. What it means is I work on relationships between the congregation and the local community, particularly with groups whose values mirror ours, and I work on relationships inside our brick and mortar walls. This morning, what I'm hoping is that you all will take a moment to introduce yourselves to someone new, to say hello again to the people you came with, and to also remember exactly what our board member just said. This is a day the universe has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Before you say hello to each other, two things. I am not Rev Amanda. Rev Amanda is still holding down the fort at home. She is COVID-19. She's resting. She is healing. And that is exactly what she needs to be doing. So I've gotten to preach 2 Sundays in a row, which does not usually happen. I used to do this regularly, 11 years of it. Not so much recently, but it has been really good to be with you all in this capacity. I also have helpers. This is not me sitting as worship associate. Allison has stepped in this week. Last week I had a different volunteer in the worship associate spot. I am lucky to have those people here helping us be in community together. We have a pianist, we have a musician, we have 2 people in the tech booth this morning. It takes a village to make Sunday morning happen. Now say hello to each other. Make a new friend. Say hello to someone you came with. I hope you'll continue those conversations after the service when you're having coffee. This is me reeling you back in, back to the pews, ready for service. Please keep talking to each other when the service is done. Take those conversations into Fellowship Hall and into the parking lot, and take them into the week. Stay in touch with one another. Our call to worship this morning is called the Community Well. It was written by Reverend Julia Hamilton, who's a HDS, Harvard Divinity School graduate. She currently serves as lead minister of the Unitarian Society in Santa Barbara, California. Julia says, "Spirit of life, we need each other. We need one another to sit together in the dark when the electricity is out and the wind is howling. We need one another to wade through the water with nothing but an old canoe that will save as many lives as possible. We need one another to help tear down our moldy, rotten walls and begin to put up new ones in the house that our grandfather built. We need one another when the sky clears, yet we are still so filled with stories that if we don't tell them to someone, we might explode. We need one another to make us laugh on the first good day in a long while. We need one another so that when our little wellspring of hope is at its lowest and dries up, there is community which we can drink from a new well with. There is community that will keep us going. There is community that serves us until the thirst is over and the worst has passed. We need one another to survive, even when the rains come again. A community needs one another."
Each week at UUCA, we light a candle of compassion. And this week, we hold in our hearts those facing the aftermath of Hurricanes Milton and Helene, people around the world living with the horrors of war, and the one-year anniversary of the terror attacks that occurred on October 7th, 2023. And we'll also light our chalice together. We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. We light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world.
We invite you to join us and stand as you're able or rise in spirit for the meditation on breathing number 1009. We're going to learn this together. There are 3 parts. If you're closest to this aisle over here, you'll be singing the bottom part, which is the drone. Let's sing that together first on 1009. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe. Good. If you're on this side, on this far aisle, closest to this aisle, can you sing the melody on the top? When I breathe in, try it. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out Thank you. That's nice. All right. So everyone who's in the middle here, you get the most challenging caffeinated section. So hopefully you're awake. When I breathe in, right on the middle line says descant. Ready? And when I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out. One more time. And when I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out. Good. We're going to try it all together now, starting with the drone. Here we go. 1, 2, this part, and breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe melody. When I breathe in, I breathe out. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out. Descant. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out. Nice job. Have a seat.
Wisdom lesson. If you all look at your order of service for today, you'll see readings in 2 places. They are a lie. Quite often when we're putting sermons together, what happens is we read something, we see something, and it takes on a new life and it becomes part of the service. Your readings today will come from this lovely book called Incantations for Rest. It was written by Atina O'Danner. I got to spend 2 days with Atina O'Danner in September at an anti-racist, anti-oppressive seminary. It was stunning. Her voice is clear. Her voice is full of the opposite of caution. She speaks truth to power. She does exactly that in the pieces I'm going to read to you this morning. This first piece is called Sharing. I scraped my bits of clay together until I had a hand to reach out with. Then I shared what I had. I sang myself together until my voice could be heard again. Then I offered my song of comfort. My friends and I pour the same water between our cups, taking turns. Everyone is thirsty. Every one of us dried out. The pouring the water is how we survive the drought. The second piece I have for you is the Litany for the Exhausted. Initially, you're going to think this is a toddler complaining. It is not. It goes much deeper than that. Litany for the Exhausted. I don't want to do things. Don't want to get out of bed. Don't want to get in the shower. Don't want to care what time it is. I don't want to answer, how are you doing? I don't want to answer, how are the kids? I don't want to scan my brain for something to say. I don't want to answer. I don't want to cajole or convince or coerce. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to be the adult. I'm not ready to move on. I don't want to forgive. I don't want to smile. I don't want to code switch. I don't want to do that coworker small talk. I do not want to meet anybody. I don't want to get my life back on track. I don't want to clear up the confusion. I don't want to take the lead. I don't want to dig any deeper and scrape the bottom of the barrel. I don't want to think about what that would mean. I don't want to decide, to do, or abide. I'm exhausted. I don't want to. I don't want to. That's litany for the exhausted. This last piece is called Every Storm Runs Out of Rain. The storm don't steer the ship. Storm may push it, toss it, rock it, roll it, crack it, even sink it. But it takes a knowing mind and a guiding sense to steer a ship towards safety. It takes a memory of the harbor haven to guide a body soaked with fear, pushing against the wind. It takes faith to hold out for the storm to run out of rain. Every storm runs out of rain.
I'd like to invite the children to come join me for a story. So you guys can come on over. That looks like folks are pretty entertained over there. But if anyone else would like to come join, I'd appreciate it. And we're going to hopefully have this story also on the screen there. So even if you're sitting over there, you can still see it. And would you mind helping me turn the pages? Okay. All right. Come on over. Welcome, welcome. Come on over. All right. Do you guys want to see the book here, or do you want to see the screen over there? You want to see here? Okay. All right. We are reading You Are Enough, a book about inclusion inspired by Sophia Sanchez. And Sophia is this little girl in the center here. You're going to see her on almost every page. So you can try to find her as we read this story. And Sophia is somebody who has Down syndrome, which means that she looks and learns a little bit differently than most people. And even though she has Down syndrome and it makes some things harder for her, it's just one part of who she is. And she believes in herself, and she wants to inspire other people. You found her in all those pictures? All right. Can I turn this over to you to turn the pages for me? Okay. So we'll start here. Can you hold the book up so everyone can see? Okay. You guys got it? No two people are exactly the same. We are all unique, and that's great. Being different is what makes you special. You are just right, exactly as you are. Yep, that's Sophia. Being different can be lonely. You may feel like you don't belong, but we're all in this together. Everyone needs a friend.
Is that a microphone?
It is a microphone. Do you want to turn the page? It makes my voice a little louder. And then can you hold it so they can see too? Okay. Friends help one another. Friends learn from one another. Friends know that no two people are alike. A friend will celebrate you just as you are. But some people don't understand. They think being different is scary. Try to be good and brave and strong. Let people see the real you. Sometimes things might seem bigger than you, but you are stronger than your fears. That's why you have courage. Courage is when something is scary, but you do it anyway. Have you all ever done something scary? Yeah?
I don't.
You've never done anything scary? What scary things have you all done? Have you ever climbed a rock wall?
I have,
You have?
but it's not that scary.
But it's not that scary.
That's very scary. It's the first time you get down.
Coming down. Yeah.
And you go like,
When you drop back, I know what you mean. You can turn it. Okay. Don't let anyone try to stop you from taking a chance or trying something new. Surround yourself with people who love you. They are your cheerleaders. Listen to them when they say, yes, you can. Go ahead. When you fall down, get back up. Stay fierce. You know you've got this. Don't stay on the sidelines. It's your story, so be the star. Nice job. Be you wherever you are. If people stop and stare, just keep going. Remember, not everyone may understand you, but that doesn't mean you can't still be happy, just the way that you are. Never say no to being yourself. Feel your own beauty inside and out. When you let your light shine, can you sit down so everyone can see? You will brighten the world. Wouldn't it be boring if everyone was the same? Being different is beautiful. Just be you, because you are enough. Being enough means you are full of love. You have purpose. You aren't perfect. No one is. But you are okay being perfectly yourself. You are enough, and your friend is enough. Your teacher and neighbor are enough too. Remember that we all belong.
Can I see the neighbor?
Do you want to go back and show the neighbor on the prior page?
Where's the neighbor?
This one? Okay.
Why does it have a ball?
I'm not sure.
This is a ball.
Look for the good in the world. Start by looking in the mirror. Love what you see there, because just like me, you are enough. And then this is the end of the story, but you can see on this last picture, this is Sophia in real life. So that is the end. Thank you all for joining me for this story. We're going to sing you to your classes now. And thank you for turning the pages. You did great.
Peace to you on your way. May you grow in love each day, meeting new friends and opening your mind to the wonders of the world you will find, to the wonders of the world you will find.
I invite you to take a moment to breathe in and breathe out and let yourself move deeper into our service. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your bottom on the pew. Remember, you are right here in this place with these people. The prayer I have for you is called Being Human Amidst Tragedy. Source of sources, Spirit of life, sweet, gentle bearer of the light. We do not choose when tragedy occurs, nor where, nor what feelings are brought to the surface as we handle challenge. In the heartbreak, what we carry forth is our humanity in a newly revealed form, our hearts open, tender, and delicate. Within this complex, hard time, may our hearts be cradled. May they be cradled in the balance to strengthen in resolve, to hold fast to the seed of tenderness that allows for the experience of love. Let us be comforted in being human, while knowing its very essence of humanity is exceedingly hard. Let us heal and balance together. Let us find solace here in the collective human experience and the regeneration of affection. May the community hold. May the community tend. May this community comfort us in love. Blessed be, and amen.
fuente d'amor, ven hacia mí, y al corazón cántale tu compasión. Sopla volar, sube en la mar, hasta modelar la justicia de la vida. Arraigame, libérame, fuente d'amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Each Sunday, we share the offering with an organization whose values align with this community's. 70% of the funds collected are donated, and 30% stay with UUCA to support the congregation's work. In October, UUCA is sharing our offering with the Alianzas Guatemalan Scholarship Partners, a joint UUCA project begun in 2009 with Adavima, a Mayan human rights organization in Rabanal, Guatemala, and Golden Unitarian Church in Colorado. Currently, the project is helping several Mayan middle and high school students. Because Guatemalan public education ends in the 6th grade, and the majority of children do not have the support needed to continue their education, young women often marry, and Mayan young men go to work in the fields. Adavima supports students by providing tuition, food, and transportation. Approximately 2/3 of the students are girls. For more information about this organization, please drop by the Alliances table in Fellowship Hall. Will the ushers please come forward to take an offering? Ushers, you can come forward. We'll now do our offering blessing, and I'll read the first part, and then y'all will join in. We bless and receive these gifts, opening our hearts to true generosity. Let us be grateful when we give, be it time, talent, or treasure. Let us be grateful for our needs and the experience of vulnerability. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts to nurture this congregation. Thank you.
Our second set of readings also come from Incantations for Rest. This is called Spirit Does. Spirit announces itself. Faith overrides logic. Resonant song, radiant light. Spirit turns up and binds us together. Our connections are strengthened, awareness deepened, encompassing darkness, bone deep vibrations. Humility, too, a course correction, spirit. Follow spirit toward purpose. Slow down and feel it, one sense, one moment at a time. That's called Spirit Does. This is sharing losses. Loss binds us together undeniably. Like the aching low moan of a cello, you feel it first. Other senses follow. You feel it in that place where the keening cry of a wounded heart begins. In loss, we could be family. In that shared knowing and need. In that chance to rebirth kindness to each other. Sharing losses. And lastly, generational wealth. My grandmother was so tired that my mother was born tired. My mama's so tired that I'm tired right now. And I see my children getting tired, so it's time they be put to bed. I will gift time to my children. They will inherit a legacy of resting. Leisure time and vacation days, sick time used to nap and renew. I'll steal time and show them how to eat it raw. I'll say yes to my babies on the clock. I'll show them how to tuck joy and stillness into the pockets of a reclaimed life. When I accrue time, I'll let them see how I use it. When I take time, I will give it to them and let them play. I save time in their names for them to practice how to protect it, how to spend it on rest. It's been said that the best things in life are free. Untrue. The high cost of the best things in life is time. My children will know that time seeds restoration, that creativity is nurtured by time to play, that love is deepened by time together, that revolution needs time to imagine, that healing and growing are possible, and what it takes to rebuild broken skin and bone is time for rest. That wellness is rest, and time is wealth, generational wealth. So before I start the sermon, a couple of things. You may have noticed that the order of service is a little bit different today. This week, along with our minister being at home resting and healing, the printer broke. Now, you would think that a printer breaking is not a huge thing. You call the repairman and they come and fix it. We had one of those weeks where the repairman comes and fixes it and leaves, and it breaks again. Then you call them and they're not quite sure it's actually broken and they don't want to come and fix it. But they do, and they come and fix it, and they finally say, you need a different printer. So we'll loan you one, but it won't come today. We're still waiting for the loaner printer to show up. And in the meantime, we have a staff that is willing to figure out how to make a printer that's limping along, make at least a two-sided copy for the order of service. I am grateful every single day for the people that I work with. One other thing I want to bring to your attention. My worship associate this morning, Allison, has been playing double duty. I'm not sure if you noticed, but she's not only singing in the choir, she is acting as the worship associate. This deserves applause. Thank you. So the sermon, which is supposedly the heart of the service, right? You're all excited. You're waiting with bated breath to hear from the minister. Settle down. First, a story. Imagine you have a group of friends, and all of you have agreed to take a rafting trip together. The trip was your idea, so you are the appointed leader. You study the map in the days before the trip, and you see that there is slow water and shallows. You look at the diagram a little closer, and you also see there will be unavoidable rapids and tight turns. You have a few decisions to make as the leader. How would you ensure you can safely navigate the rough waters? What's your plan to handle any unexpected problems that might arise during the trip? Maybe you decide to enlist the support of more experienced rafters. Maybe you share the decision-making with others as you go over the map and plan the route. Or maybe you just pack extra life jackets or consider using a stronger raft. As the leader with each decision you make, by choosing the right tools, by creating a support system, you develop a foundation that's needed to make it through the challenges of the upcoming river adventure. And what ultimately happens? Because of your work, you're developing support and a plan. You and your friends emerge from the trip more confident and more courageous than when you started. That's what resilience is like. Resilience is not a trait that people are born with. It develops over time. It grows stronger every time you face adversity, every time you have to manage something or adapt or adjust to a new plan. It develops every time you learn how to keep moving forward into your future, no matter what obstacles are placed in your way. Resilience is learned, much like athletes that have muscle memory. Do you all know what muscle memory is? A pitcher that can throw a 90 to 100 mile an hour fastball doesn't think about it before he releases the ball. He winds up, he kicks his leg, and he lets it fly. His muscles remember exactly what he needs to do because he has practiced it. Whether it's a fastball, a curveball, or a slider, it's muscle memory that allows him to stand on the mound and repeat that action over and over. Resilience is like that. It is not a trait you are born with. It is something that is learned and developed over time. A story. I spent the majority of the COVID-19 epidemic in State College, Pennsylvania. I was serving a UU fellowship of about 300 members. It was rough. My life mirrored many of your experiences: the isolation, the loneliness, the not knowing. It was rough. Emotionally, I was isolated. Geographically, I was far away from family and friends. It was rough psychologically. We closed the church building on a Thursday and moved to Zoom services and all Zoom meetings by the next Sunday. I wound up having church in my breakfast nook and spending way too much time alone. I didn't preach or hold Sunday services like this in person for over a year. It was rough. It was rough physically. Before COVID, I regularly went to the gym. When COVID came, my gym closed its doors. I had to stop going to the gym, and I didn't have a routine until I developed a new routine. And I replaced physical activity, not moving my body by walking or riding a bike. Instead, I replaced physical activity with a short walk between the kitchen and the recliner. Now, I repeated that short walk many, many times. I figured out how to go between the kitchen and the recliner probably 6 or 7 times a day while I was binge watching Netflix. That was the experience that many of you had too. My resilience was at an all-time low. One day I was on the phone casually talking to my daughter, telling her about the number of elderly folks that were dying in the local assisted living center. They were dying even though the staff was being diligent. They were careful. They were following all the rules and all the protocols. They took people's temperatures. They watched for signs like coughing and labored breathing. They washed their hands over and over until they were raw. I shared that with my daughter on the phone, and then I told her that one of the things we were doing was spending time standing outside the retirement home, me and church members, holding up signs and colorful balloons for the people who were isolated in their rooms. The residents that were quarantined and saw nobody for day after day, week after week, month after month. I told that story, and something internal shifted. Somehow I tapped into a combination of resilience and self-preservation. It was a moment when I asked myself, how are you going to do this? How are you going to make it? A few hours later, I was in my car. Driving from Pennsylvania to Rockville. My intention was to stay a few days. I stayed 9 weeks. It was safe. It was warm. I was in what all of us started calling our pods. It was almost magical to be in the pod and lose track of days and weeks and when it should be breakfast and when it should be lunch. all that time not being able to go anyplace or really do anything. I was still doing church on Zoom and caring for my congregation through a laptop screen. That is no way to do church. I think the resilience kicked in when I was strong enough to say, who's holding cards and balloons for me? It was rough, and I know it was rough for you all too. What surprises me still is that we don't talk about what COVID was really like. I still run into people who haven't told their story of isolation and loneliness, who haven't talked about how they didn't have enough resilience. When I was working on this sermon, I did what I sometimes do. I went to dictionary.com, and they define resilience with these words. Resilience is the ability of a person to adjust or to recover from adversity, from illness, or major life changes. That sent me sleuthing a little bit more. The best piece of advice I got was actually from the US Department of State. They have a system, a deployment stress management program. In parentheses, there's a catchy acronym, the DSMP. In short, it reminds us that resilience refers to the ability to successfully adapt to stressors, to maintain psychological well-being, and to face adversity. It goes on to say, resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficult experience. It's about being flexible. It's about recognizing that you have strength that perhaps you never knew you had. And like many things in life, the more you practice it, the more you learn about exactly how resilient you are. Friends, we are currently living in a time that demands we all be resilient and stay hopeful and practice self-care. Many of the days we face have a palpable residue of pain and anxiety. That's a direct result of the stress, of the crises, of the trauma we are experiencing daily, directly and indirectly. There isn't a single day when we don't turn on the television or break out our laptop or turn on the radio in a car and hear another awful story, something filled with hurt and harm, something that we may not be able to actually bounce back from in that moment of time. That is when you need muscle, emotional memory, when you simply can tap into resilience because you've practiced it, because you know what it feels like to bounce back. While I was researching, I did what we all do. I went to Google. I was looking for advice. There's a lot of advice. There was a slew of articles, far too many, about how to be resilient, the top 10 ways to be resilient, the 3 key ingredients of resilience, et cetera, et cetera. I read most of them, and I came up with a list by compiling some of the ideas that I thought were the best. Here they are. First, remember resilience is like a skill. Once you learn it, Like when you learn to ride a bike, you remember how to do it over and over. The more you practice it, like muscle memory for athletes, the better you are at bouncing back. Number 2, resilience is not about toughing it out or reacting to a setback by simply smiling and saying it didn't really happen. No. Resilient people still feel sad and angry and frustrated. But what happens is they find a way to stop, to consider what's actually taking place, to breathe, and to move forward into their future. Number 3, try and maintain a sense of perspective. Ask yourself, honestly, how big is this problem I'm facing right now? Everything is not a catastrophe. We do live in times where it feels that way, where our instinct is to be uber angry, uber frustrated, and like nothing is going to be good. That isn't true. Every problem is not the same size. Everything is not a catastrophe. Some things are, but not every single thing. Stop. Breathe. Consider what's actually in front of you, and then move forward. Number 4, remind yourself of all the good things that are going on in your life. I've said this in sermons before. You actually should have a list taped to your pantry door, to the refrigerator, or on the mirror in your bathroom of things you are grateful for, of things that are good in your life, of things that bring you joy. When you are in trouble, it is really easy to forget all those things. When you are faced with catastrophe or an awful story that came on the news, it is easy to forget what's good. Write that stuff down, friends. Put it someplace where you see it over and over. That creates emotional muscle memory. Number 5 is probably the most important one. You have to recognize that you have a choice in how you handle whatever is a challenge. I know you have heard this before. You cannot control other people, and you absolutely cannot control everything that you're going to have to face. The only thing you control is your reaction to what's in front of you. The only thing that you can control is yourself and how you choose to respond. There's no doubt that there is change. There's no doubt there is harm and pain being shown to us in a multitude of ways every single day. But we do have to figure out how to not necessarily accept the pain, but to acknowledge it and recognize it and develop some skills to be able to hold it, to handle it, to move through it, not away from it. The last one I want to share with you all is about calming yourself. Do you all know how to calm yourself down when you're in a situation that's out of your control? Seriously. Do you have a list of like 3 things you can do that bring you down? I'm looking at people that are like, nope. I don't have that list in my head or in my back pocket, Rev CTC. You need that in your head or in your back pocket. Last week, I was in the grocery store. I try very, very hard not to go to the grocery store, ever. I get all my food delivered. I am not ashamed of it. Whole Foods delivers, Amazon Fresh delivers, DoorDash delivers. My life has enough things that I have to make decisions about and put up with. Going to the grocery store is not one of them. I had a friend say to me, figs are back. Have you gotten your figs? And I looked online and I tried to order figs, and of course it said out of stock, out of stock. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get some figs. I went to Whole Foods, and indeed they had black figs and mission figs and green figs and small figs and organic figs. I was frustrated before I had a single carton of figs in my basket. And then I decided to go get blue cheese to go with the figs. Oh, Jesus. There used to be joy in the cheese counter at Whole Foods, right? You approached it and you were like, this is an adventure. Oh my God, there's Harlesburg, there's blue cheese, there's Gouda. I was just like, where's the blue cheese? Just give me the blue cheese so I can have it with these figs and I can go home. I got super frustrated just by going in the grocery store. And then I reached in my back pocket and I took my 3 things out. The first thing on my list is remembering when my grandson shaved 8 seconds off his swim time. He swims a 200-meter individual medley. Shaving off 8 seconds in one race, I will always remember what his face looked like when he realized he had come in 3rd place, but shaved off 8 seconds. That's in my back pocket. The other thing that's in my back pocket has to do with this place. The idea that there are people who actually give their time and their energy and their money for social justice, so I have a job, that's on my list. That's in my back pocket too. The third thing that is in my back pocket is a memory. It's a memory of me and my dad doing the simplest thing in the world when he was like 86 years old, fishing. It soothes me every time I'm about at the edge to remember that swim meet, to remember my job and that I get to have it, and to remember fishing with my dad. I'm challenging you all to find the 3 things and put them on your list and hold them in your pocket. You cannot be angry at the gas station or in the Whole Foods. You should not sit in your home and yell at CNN. I know you want to. I am aware of what is on the screen and what we are, 28 days from? Stop, breathe, pull your list out. Resilience is learned and planned behavior. You have to be able to calm yourself. It's been a long time, but several years ago when I was in seminary, I read a book by Viktor Frankl. You probably are familiar with it, Man's Search for Meaning. The story focuses on a man in a concentration camp. A concentration camp. And he survives. He survives because of his resilient attitude. To paraphrase Frankl, when the man was served his meal of the day, a bowl of filthy water with a rotten fish head in it, somehow he managed to see the beauty in that and that he had something to sustain his body. That is amazing resilience. If he hadn't learned how to turn awful water and rotten fish into a beautiful image of a meal, he would not have survived. He would not have survived the concentration camp experience. Our lives don't come with a perfect roadmap. We always experience twists and turns, like the river on that boat trip. Elections might not go the way we want them to. Another hurricane can strike our shores, and we might not be ready. But what we can always do is stop for a moment or two and see the beauty that surrounds us. We can hold fast to hope. We can tap into our unknown strength. We can find resolve and resistance. In the last week, I learned a new word that encompasses much of what I've been talking about, and much more than just the word resilience. It's Arabic. The word is samud. Can you all say that? Samud? Samud. Palestinians use it to explain their ability to embrace perseverance and steadfastness. Samud is cultural. In the face of horrific consequences of war, somehow they persevere. For them, the practice of samud, the continuing to survive, is the ultimate expression of resilience. That is what I hope for you all, samud. That you find the way to show your resolve and resilience, that when you are faced with life's challenges, you pick yourself up, you take a deep breath, you dust yourself off, and every single day you start over again. That's the goal. Every single day, to look at this magical gift of life we have been given and start over again. Samud to all of you. Amen.
Please rise and body your spirit and join us in hymn number 1002, Comfort Me. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, O my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, O my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
If y'all will join me in extinguishing our chalice with the words in your order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light and warmth it represents. These we carry with us, bringing our sparks of love to the world.
Sometimes the world feels like too much death, too much hate, too much debt, too many demanding relatives, babies that cry too loud, children who complain too often. Sometimes the world feels like too much. But while the world is full of suffering and feels that way, it is also filled with beauty and joy. It is filled with resilience and our ability to overcome the suffering. Let us rest in that knowledge, knowing we can overcome the darkness and together always find our way. always find our way back to the light. Go into this week with joy in your heart. Carry resistance in your spirit. Share it with others. And remember, you are not on this journey alone. Blessings on the week ahead.